waterproof, long-lasting, smudge-proof. The same qualities you look for in your makeup could also be hazardous to your health. I take a closer look at why some makeup products, some makeup artists are calling out the beauty industry for concealing toxic ingredients.
There is lead in your lipstick, not a trace amount. Independent labs found levels higher than what's allowed in children's candy, applied to your mouth, for years. That's not even number one on this list. Forever chemicals in foundation, formaldehyde in mascara, Dermatologist-approved, claims that have had zero legal meaning since 1975. One brand reformulated for Europe and kept selling you the old version. Another hides 3,000 chemicals behind a single word. A third charges luxury prices for the same contaminated pigments in drugstore tubes. 6 brands riding your trust to protect their margins. 3 that dermatologists actually recommend. When there's no camera, no sponsorship, no PR email. Let's count them down, from bad to absolute worst. Worst number 6, Maybelline. The highest lead concentration, out of 400 lipsticks. That was Maybelline, not some obscure brand you've never heard of, not a knockoff from a random online seller. Maybelline, color sensational, shade name Pink Petal, the one in the pink and gold tube that's been sitting in drugstore checkout aisles your entire life. The FDA tested 400 lipsticks. Maybelline took the top spot for lead contamination, and it didn't stop there. Multiple other Maybelline products ranked inside the top 10 most contaminated on that same list. Now here's where it gets worse. Lead is one problem. The other is PFAS, the forever chemicals. A 2021 study tested 231 cosmetics. 82% of waterproof mascaras tested positive for fluorine markers, the indicator for PFAS, the chemicals that don't break down, not in the environment, not in your body. There is currently an active class action lawsuit alleging undisclosed PFAS in 6 different Maybelline waterproof mascaras. Undisclosed, meaning they're not on the ingredient label, meaning you had no way to know. And here's what that actually means if you've been a Maybelline user for years. The average woman ingests roughly 24 milligrams of lipstick per day, eating, drinking, touching her lips. Lead doesn't leave your body, PFAS don't leave your body. Both accumulate in tissue over time. In December 2025, the FDA released a mandated report on PFAS in cosmetics. Their conclusion was that they do not have enough data to tell you whether the levels found are safe. They don't know. They admitted it. For the woman who has been reaching for that pink and gold tube since her first year of high school, who put it on before every class, every date, every job interview, who never thought twice because it was just Maybelline, it was everywhere, it was affordable, it was fine. For her daughter, who is doing the same thing right now, lead does not discriminate by age, PFAS do not discriminate by age, and neither of them asked for your consent before they started accumulating. Worst number 5, NYX Professional Makeup. If NYX was your first real makeup brand, this one is going to sting a little. The pigments, the price point, the fact that it felt like something the beauty industry didn't want you to have, professional quality without the professional markup. Tony Co built that from nothing. One woman, her parents' garage in Los Angeles, 1999. No investors, no conglomerate backing, just a product that was genuinely good and word of mouth that spread because it deserved to. That's the brand you fell in love with. Here's the brand you've been buying. In 2014, L'Oreal acquired NYX for a reported $500 million. The indie aesthetic stayed. The indie reality left because NYX is now part of the same parent company that owns Maybelline. The same parent company whose mass-market supply chains have been flagged for lead contamination and PFAS concerns across multiple product lines, same factories, same ingredient sourcing, same quality controls, or lack of them. The professional in NYX Professional Makeup now means the same thing that dermatologists tested means on a drugstore moisturizer. It's a positioning statement, not a standard. And Tony Co, she left after the acquisition, started a completely different business outside the beauty industry entirely. And when she has talked about it publicly, she has been clear that the brand she built and the brand L'Oreal wanted to run were 2 different things. She did not stick around to watch the gap widen. That is not ambiguity. That is a conclusion. For the 17-year-old who saved up her babysitting money to buy NYX because it felt like the real thing, professional, indie, hers, not the brand her mother bought, something she found herself. She was not buying independence. She was buying L'Oreal in different packaging, and for the 20-something content creator, building her whole aesthetic around a brand story that ended in 2014. The story on the label is still running. The story behind it stopped a long time ago. Here's the thing about L'Oreal that you need to hold on to as we go through this list. They own NYX, they own Maybelline, they also own Lancôme and Giorgio Armani Beauty. Different price points, different store locations, different packaging, often the same contract manufacturers. You're not paying for better ingredients at Lancôme, you're paying for the box. And at NYX, you're paying for a brand story that stopped being true in 2014. Drop a comment right now if you grew up thinking NYX was an indie brand. I want to see how many of us were buying L'Oreal without knowing it. I will be in there reading every single one. Worst number 4, Neutrogena. Your mum probably had it in the medicine cabinet. You probably have it in yours right now. And if you have kids, there is a real chance you have already bought it for them, because that is what you do with a brand that has Dermatologist recommended printed on the front of every single product. Neutrogena built its entire reputation on that phrase, and for a long time, it meant something. Dermatologists genuinely recommended it. It was the safe choice, the trusted choice, the one you passed down without thinking twice because your mother passed it down to you. Here's what changed. In 2023, Johnson & Johnson spun off its entire consumer health division, Neutrogena included, into a brand new standalone company called Kenvue. The public reason was strategic focus. The quieter reality was this: Johnson & Johnson was buried in lawsuits, talc contamination, tens of thousands of plaintiffs. Spinning off the consumer division put distance between the pharmaceutical business and the liability sitting inside it. Neutrogena didn't move. The legal exposure did. Kenvue is now a publicly traded company answering to shareholders, not to the dermatology community that spent decades building Neutrogena's credibility, not to the doctors whose recommendations you trusted when you put that product in your cart. The dermatologist recommended badge is still on the packaging. The dermatologists who built that reputation have no ongoing role in what goes into the formula. Since the spin-off, consumer complaints about formula changes have been surfacing across review platforms. The products look the same, the packaging is the same, the trust queue on the front is the same. But here is what nobody tells you when a brand changes hands. The recommendation doesn't transfer. The accountability walks out with the old owners. The label stays exactly where it was. For the mother who handed her daughter a bottle of Neutrogena face wash at 13, because that is what her own mother handed her. 3 generations of trust, passed down like a family recipe, built on a recommendation from a doctor who has long since retired from a company that no longer exists in the same form. For the teenager using it right now because her mom said it was safe. Her mom was right about the brand that existed before 2023. That brand changed hands. Nobody sent a letter. You trusted it because your mother trusted it. That chain of trust now ends at a company that didn't exist 3 years ago. Worst number 3, Estee Lauder. Let me stop here for a second, because there is a pattern you need to see before we go any further. MAC, Too Faced, Bobbi Brown, 3 founders, 3 exits. All of them left the companies they built the moment they were legally allowed to. Not a year later, not after a graceful transition, the day their contracts expired. That is not a coincidence. That is a verdict. Estee Lauder Companies owns all 3 of those brands. They also own Clinique, Smashbox, La Mer, and more than 20 others. And right now, in 2026, the company behind all of those names is in serious financial trouble. Fiscal year 2024, revenue down 12% from its 2022 peak. Net earnings down 60% year over year. First quarter of the following fiscal year, a net loss of $156 million. Their response to that loss was a restructuring plan that involved cutting between 5,800 and 7,000 jobs. When a beauty conglomerate is bleeding that kind of money, the first thing that gets optimized is not your experience as a customer. It is the formulation budget. It is the quality of what goes inside the tube. Everything you cannot see, everything you trusted them to protect. The brands on the shelf look exactly the same as they did 5 years ago. The company behind them is not the same company. The people who built those brands are gone. The financial firms and shareholders making decisions about what goes into your foundation have never formulated a single product in their lives. Here is the playbook, and you have now seen it 3 times on this list alone. Buy the brand, cut the costs, ride the reputation until the reviews turn, then restructure before the numbers catch up. For the woman who saved up for her first MAC lipstick and felt like she had finally arrived, who moved to Clinique when she got serious about her skin, who bought La Mer the year she turned 40 because she had earned it and because she believed the price meant something real was inside the bottle. She was not wrong to believe that. She was wrong about when it stopped being true. If you are new here, this is what we do on this channel. We go behind the label so you do not have to. Hit subscribe so you never miss it. There are a lot more brand investigations coming. Worst number 2, Tarte Cosmetics. In 2023, Tarte flew 50 influencers to Dubai, 5-star resort, private excursions, the whole thing. Conservative estimates put the cost of that trip at several $1,000,000. You funded that. Every concealer, every blush, every powder you bought from Tarte with the understanding that you were paying a premium for better, cleaner ingredients. A portion of that money went to a PR trip in the UAE, not to your formula, not to your skin. Here is what makes that worse. Tarte built its entire identity on the idea of being different. High-performance naturals, eco-friendly packaging, Amazonian clay. The branding is warm, earthy, and deliberate. It is designed to make you feel like you are making a responsible choice, a conscious choice, the kind of choice that justifies the price tag. In 2014, South Korean conglomerate Cosmetic Corporation acquired a majority stake in Tarte. The natural marketing stayed. The scrutiny of that marketing increased. Multiple Tarte products score in the moderate hazard range on the Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep database, not the low end. The moderate hazard range, the same database that genuine clean beauty brands use to prove their credibility, and the same database where Tarte's scores do not match the story on the label. Ingredients that the brand's own positioning would lead you to believe aren't there are showing up in the ratings. You are paying a clean beauty premium for a product that does not consistently score like one. And here is the regulatory truth that makes all of it possible. The word natural on a cosmetics label has no legal definition in 2026. None. A company can print it on any product it wants, no standard to meet, no certification to earn, no proof to provide. For the woman who switched to Tarte specifically because she was trying to do better, who read about clean beauty, decided to make a change, and chose Tarte because the packaging looked responsible and the messaging felt like it understood her, she was not naive, she was misled. For the 22-year-old who spent $40 on a Tarte foundation instead of $20 on a drugstore alternative because she believed the premium was going towards something cleaner, a portion of that premium went to Dubai. The formula is a separate conversation. You thought you were buying clean. You were buying a mood board. The people who built that mood board are very good at their jobs. The ingredients inside the packaging are a separate conversation entirely. Worst number 1. Clinique. Launched in 1968 with one of the most powerful claims in the history of cosmetics, the first dermatologist-created skincare brand, allergy-tested, 100% fragrance-free, safe for every skin type. It was revolutionary, and it worked. For decades, Clinique was the brand women graduated to when they got serious about their skin. The gift sets at the department store counter, the little green moisturizer, the 3-step system that felt like actual science in a world full of empty promises. Here is what that story left out. The dermatologist behind Clinique was Dr. Norman Orentreich. He was affiliated with and compensated by Estee Lauder. Clinique was not an independent dermatologist who looked at the beauty industry and decided to build something better. It was a marketing architecture, a way to attach the credibility of medicine to a cosmetics line at a moment when no one was asking too many questions about what that actually meant, and nobody has been asking those questions since, because they do not have to. The phrase allergy tested has no legal definition. It means a company ran some tests. It does not mean your skin will not react. The word hypoallergenic has been legally meaningless since 1975. The year Clinique's parent company sued the FDA to block a regulation that would have required actual proof, and won. That ruling is still in effect today. In 2026, Clinique is operating inside an Estee Lauder restructuring, thousands of jobs cut across the company, formulation teams caught in the crossfire. The founding story is now 58 years old, and it is still doing the heavy lifting on the label. You have been paying a premium for the word dermatologist on packaging that was designed in 1968 to mean whatever Estee Lauder needed it to mean. For the woman who graduated to Clinique because it felt like the adult choice, the serious choice, the one you made when you were done with drugstore brands and ready to invest in your skin, the green packaging, the 3-step system, the counter at the department store that felt like a consultation. For her mother, who bought it in 1982 because a dermatologist recommended it and who has trusted it every day since, without knowing that the dermatologist was on the payroll and that the recommendation she received was a marketing decision made in 1968. 50 years of trust, built on a claim that has never been independently verified. Not once. The claim outlived the accountability by about half a century. Tell me in the comments, which brand on this list have you been using the longest? I genuinely want to know. Because that answer tells you exactly how long this information was kept from you. Okay, stop for a second. You just sat through 6 brands, 6 companies that between them have been in your bathroom cabinet, your gym bag, your mother's medicine cabinet, and your first ever makeup haul. The thing that connects all of them is not that they made bad products. Some of them made great products. Once, the thing that connects them is a system. A founder builds something real. A conglomerate buys it. The founders leave. The formulas get cheaper. The marketing claims stay. That is not a flaw in the system. That is the system. And notice the thread running through this entire list. L'Oreal owns Maybelline and NYX at the drugstore. They also own Lancôme and Giorgio Armani Beauty at the department store counter. Same parent, often the same factories. The price point goes up. The accountability does not go up with it. So here is what you actually need when you are standing in that aisle. Not just the ingredient label. Who owns the brand? Who is making formulation decisions? Whether the claims on the packaging have any standard behind them, or whether they are just words nobody told them they couldn't use. 3 brands did that work. Dermatologists recommend these in actual clinical practice, not in press releases, not in paid partnerships, in rooms where the only thing that matters is whether the product works on real skin. Good makeup still exists. Here is what it looks like. Best number 3. La Roche-Posay. Here is a number worth knowing. The European Union bans over 1,300 cosmetic ingredients. The FDA bans roughly 11. Same planet, completely different standard. La Roche-Posay did not start on a store shelf. It started in dermatology clinics, built specifically for skin that reacts to everything, that cannot tolerate most of what the beauty industry puts out. Sensitive skin, compromised skin, post-procedure skin, the kind of patients dermatologists see when everything else has already failed them. That origin matters, because a product that gets developed for that environment has to actually work. There is no marketing budget that covers for a formula that irritates a rosacea patient or breaks out someone 3 days post-laser. It either performs or it disappears. Yes, L'Oreal owns it. That name has earned its own reaction at this point in the video, a chaos. But here is what is different. La Roche-Posay answers to European cosmetics regulation, the framework that bans 1,300 ingredients, while the FDA is still sitting at 11. Same parent company, different rules. That is not a small distinction. That is the entire ballgame. Dermatologists recommend the Toleriane and Cicaplast lines in actual clinical practice for post-procedure, skin, eczema, rosacea, acne. These products appear in peer-reviewed dermatology literature. That is a categorically different kind of recommendation than a badge printed on a box. Honest caveat. If you are done with L'Oreal entirely after everything on this list, that is a reasonable place to land. The formulation standard here is genuinely different from anything else that parent company sells, but the name on the parent company is still the same name. Eyes open. Best number 2. EltaMD. Every brand in the first half of this video started in a boardroom and borrowed credibility from dermatologists to sell products. EltaMD did it the other way around. This brand was not built for retail. It was built for clinical offices, dermatology practices, plastic surgery suites, wound care facilities, environments where a product either performs on compromised post-procedure skin or it gets pulled immediately. No marketing budget saves a formula that fails in a clinical setting. The feedback is instant. The professionals using it have zero tolerance for anything that does not work. That is the environment EltaMD was designed for. Retail came after. That sequence matters more than almost anything else you can know about a skincare brand. Their UV Clear Broad Spectrum Sunscreen is one of the most consistently recommended products in clinical dermatology. Zinc oxide based, no oxybenzone, no avobenzone, no PFAS concerns. Each one of those is a deliberate formulation decision, not a marketing claim, not a trend the brand chased. A decision made for patients with sensitive, reactive, post-procedure skin who could not afford to get it wrong. Dermatologists do not recommend it because of a partnership deal. They recommend it because they used it on patients first and it worked. Honest caveat, higher price point than the other two brands in this half of the list, but you are not paying for packaging or an influencer trip. You are paying for a product that was vetted in a clinical setting before it ever reached a store shelf. That is a different category of purchase entirely. Best number 1. Cerave. Everything you have watched on this list has followed the same direction. Someone builds something with real intention behind it. Money arrives. The intention leaves. The label stays. Cerave is the one that breaks that pattern, and it breaks it in the direction you actually need it to. Founded in 2005, developed in collaboration with the National Eczema Association and an ongoing board of dermatologists, not one paid affiliate brought in for a press release, but a clinical advisory model that shapes formulation decisions from the ground up. The products were built around 3 essential ceramides, hyaluronic acid and niacinamide. No fragrance, no parabens, ingredient transparency that holds up when you run it through the Environmental Working Group's database. L'Oréal acquired Cerave in 2017. And here is the part that actually matters, because by now, you know that acquisition alone is reason enough to look closer. The clinical board stayed. The dermatologist development model stayed. The formulation philosophy that the brand was built on stayed. That is not the story of MAC. It is not the story of Too Faced. It is not the story of any brand in the first half of this video. You can verify that. It is not a claim sitting on a label with no standard behind it. It is an ongoing, documented relationship between a brand and the clinical community that built it. Dermatologists recommend Cerave in active clinical practice in 2026 for compromised skin barriers, for post-procedure care, for patients who cannot afford to put the wrong thing on their face, and the price point. Most products sit between $10 and $20. Available at every drugstore, Target, and Walmart in the country. There are women who have spent decades buying brands that were quietly cutting corners on their skin. Moving to something that actually does what it says, at a tenth of the price, is not settling. That is the upgrade. Honest caveat. L'Oréal ownership is still a fact worth knowing. The formulation standard has held since the acquisition, but this list has taught you to watch what happens after the money arrives. Keep watching. You just sat through 9 brands. 6 that have been running the same play for decades. Buy the trust, cut the formula, ride the reputation until someone starts asking questions. And 3 that actually held up when someone did. Here is what you now know that most people standing in that makeup aisle do not. Dermatologist tested means nothing. Hypoallergenic means nothing. Natural means nothing. They are words on boxes that were designed to end your questions before you thought to ask them. Drop in the comments which brand surprised you most. I'll be in there reading every single one. If someone you know is still buying blind, send this to them. That is the whole point. The system is not broken. It is working exactly the way it was built to work. You were just never supposed to find out. See you in the next one.